sponsorship, and advert business, please contact 08036886158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Good morning. Welcome to the Monday edition of your favorite program on television, Inside Nigeria. Today is Monday, February 26, 2024, and my name is Winifred Ugbebo, your host on the program. As usual on the program, we have an array of newspaper for review in this first segment of the show. Of course, we have Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership, a sister publication, National Economy, The Punch, Daily Sun, and Vanguard, all for review on this first segment of the show. However, on the second segment of the show, our guest, Monday guest, will be joining us virtually on the program. But first, Leadership newspaper. Leadership's headline story this Monday says Hardship 5.108 trillion naira in 8 months. Hardship unabated in states despite huge allocations. 5.108 trillion naira in 8 months. Hardship unabated in states despite huge allocations. Labour warns federal government against attack on protesters. This is the leading story today, Monday, 26 February 2024. Edo 2024, third candidate emerges in Labour Party. Tinubu meets stakeholder sets up team on economic crisis. Fire guards FCT state minister's residence. The story continues on page 17 of Leadership. And on the business boards, we have Forest. Import volume drops as importers weigh options. Forest. Import volume drops as importers weigh options. Which takes us to the stories above the masthead. Governor slam forum over silence on 30 billion naira lages. Governor slam forum over silence on 30 billion naira lages. CBN pegs purchase of dollars in cash at $500. From the first page, we move to page 3 of the paper where we have our stand. Our stand today is on Ndili, Africa's first professor of nuclear physics, bows out. Ndili, Africa's first professor of nuclear physics, bows out. Of course, not many Nigerians know that Nigeria has a first professor of nuclear physics, and of course, he has passed out. And may the soul of the departed rest in peace. From our standing move to the back page of the paper where we have Monday column with Dakuku Peterside. Dakuku Peterside is writing on the political economy of cement. The political economy of cement. You will want to find out more as you log on to the website of Leadership, and also continuation of headline stories, the editorial, and of course inside stories. The email is, the website, is www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move to the next paper on our menu, and that is our sister publication, National Economy. National Economy's leading story says customs duty rates, vehicle clearance cost rises by 235% in 8 months. Customs duty rates, vehicle clearance cost rises by 235% in 8 months. Importation drops by 50%. Another headline story on the cover of National Economy is tackling challenges of infra costs in ICT. Tackling challenges of infra costs in ICT. The story continues on page 17 of National Economy. And of course, above the masthead of National Economy, we have federal government bans cooking gas export to tackle price surge. WFP halts local food purchases in Nigeria amid soaring prices. These are the headline stories today on the weekly National Economy. For more, log on to the website of National Economy, www.nationaleconomy.com. From National Economy, we move to Vanguard. Vanguard's leading story says job losses, factory closures loom as also goods pile up. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. From one paper to the next is the tales of woes as headline stories. Vanguard's headline story once again says job losses, factory closures loom as also goods pile up. That is Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Naira plunges 254% in 8 months. Existence of MSMEs further threatened. Apps bomb. CBN should adopt managed flotation of Naira (CPPE). I'll take that headline story once again. Job losses, factory closures loom as unsold goods pile up. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Beneath that, we have Qatar makes U-turn to host investment forum during Tinubu's visit. Nigeria reaping the benefits of reform. Okay, sorry, this is a paid for advert by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Retention. We'll just move to the stories above the masthead of Vanguard. Edo Guba, 15 men, 1 woman angling to succeed Obaseki. Forest crisis, clamp down on BDCs will worsen situation. Peter Obi. Anti-hardship rally, Falana writes AGF seeks protection for NLC protesters. But that's the headline story today on Vanguard newspaper. For more, log on to the website www.vanguardngr.com. From Vanguard, the Punch newspaper is next on our menu. Punch headline story says NLC protest. Presidency police issue fresh warnings as 65 groups pull out. NLC protest. Presidency police issue fresh warnings as 65 groups pull out. Don't disrupt commercial activities, vehicular movements. Lagos CP tells protesters. Protest illegal, says presidency. CSOs. NLC alleges government's plot to disrupt demonstration. Beneath that, we have BDC operators plan measures, fourth mandatory deposit. Villagers plan mass burial for bandits killed in supremacy battle. Food smuggling, customs to man 1,500 illegal routes with drones. And above the masthead of the Punch, forest crisis threatens modular refineries, 25 billion naira daily crude input. And 5th anniversary of Punch photo exhibition begins Wednesday. Governors Elumelu Dangote make Tinubu's economic advisory panel. These are the headline stories today on the cover of the Punch. For more, log on to the website of Punch, www.punchng.com. From the Punch, we take to the last paper on our menu today, and that is Daily Sun. Daily Sun's leading story says NAS considers conduct of all elections same day. National Assembly considers conduct of all elections same day. Moves radical changes to electoral laws to address confusion over electronic voting, transmission of results. Headline story today, Daily Sun, February 26, 2024. Second leading story there says Tinubu rallies Dangote Elumelu orders to stabilize economy. Sets up tripartite economic advisory committees. Learn from President of Argentina, Atiku tells President. Supreme Court gets full complement of 21 justices. The story runs on to page 27 of Daily Sun. Beside that, oh no, let's go to the story beside the masthead. NLC alleges plot by government to disrupt nationwide protest. Afenifere asked Yoruba to shun hardship protest. Terrorism charges, IPOB leader Kanu returns to Abuja court. Will build on huge infrastructural legacy of ex-Governor Bello Fanwo as NGE members tour Kogi projects. Serap sues 36 governors' orders over alleged failure to account for 40 trillion naira local government area allocations. Peter Obi once again clamped down on BDC operators, and of course with that we conclude the headline stories today on Daily Sun. For more, you log on to the website of the Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. And of course, from Daily Sun, we've come to the end of this first segment of the show where we review front headline stories. But nevertheless, the second part of the program is coming in where we'll have our modern guest virtual. Don't go away, just stay tuned.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country.
welcome back to the second segment of your breakfast show, Inside Nigeria. It's reaching your leadership television. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, and of course, for this second part of the program, we have our guest joining us virtual. He's a political economist, he's also a public affairs analyst, Ali Elias. Ali, it's good to have you on the program. Ali, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Inside Nigeria. And of course, today, as usual, we have the tales of hardship, leading in some of the headline stories on the papers we have on our menu today. But however, we want to digress a bit as we move over to Daily Sun. Daily Sun's leading story says NAS considers conduct of all elections same day. Moves radical changes to electoral laws to address confusion over electronic voting transmission of results. Sharing, isn't it? Hello, Ali. We are experiencing some technical glitches. The audio is not so clear. Hello, Ali, are you hearing me now? Good morning. Good morning. Wow, we have missed him there. We are experiencing some technical glitches. Yes, welcome back. So sorry, we've been experiencing some technical glitches while logging in with our virtual guest, Ali Elias. In case you're just joining in, the program is Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on Leadership Television. My name is Unifred Ugbebo. Once again, Ali, good morning. It's a pleasure to have you on the program, although on the other side.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, like I mentioned earlier, at least another paper that is deviating from other papers today is on is Daily Sun. And of course, Daily Sun's headline story says NAS considers conduct of all elections same day, moves radical changes to electoral laws to address confusion over electronic voting transmission of results. Sharing, you might say, Ali, because this takes us back few years few years, later, when we had President Muhammadu Buhari in power. Of course, we saw what happened while they were deliberating on the electoral law. And of course, you saw the role virtually all the lawmakers, including senators, did by voting against electronic transmission of results. But this 10th National Assembly is deviating from the norm, and it's a bit kind of pleasant surprise. What do you think?
Right. Like I always say, I do also monitor these elections, and the result of our election is just reflect of what we are seeing. I think reform is a continuous activities, and that's why we said all our politicians, our presidents, our political leaders should be looking beyond their sentiments. They have to continue to look at development of the country, and this is a reflection of looking beyond your sentiments. When these reforms are coming, some of them will look at what benefits them, and anyone that does not benefit them, they just anyone that benefits them, that's what they take, and it's affecting our policy. It's taking us back. So I think it's a good one now that we are looking at taking up the reform and doing it appropriately. Like I always say, once we get our election correct, it's definitely we snowball into virtually everything, because if we are a reflection of who we lead, with the umpire doing the right thing. So if the umpire is now looking at promoting or presenting a particular reform, I think the National Assembly should always embrace what is good for the generality, not what is good for their political party.
Okay, now what are we going to see? Because the situation whereby they are actually mulling over electronic voting and the transmission of results. Guess this is what happened the other time when the APC senators, even including some PDP, insisted that they were voting against electronic transmission of results. But now we are having a different scenario altogether, where you have almost all the senators and house honorables insisting that this time around we want to do the right thing. So at the end of the day, is it going to be something that will take Nigeria out of these elections that is always disrupted by irregularities?
Well, if you ask me, I think it's a good one, as this will reduce the level at which we go to court, because you know
Hello? Hello?
by the time I mean electoral reading out of result, by the time you transmit, there will not be any argument. The argument will be that what is the electronic result saying, and we'll make do with that. So I think it's a good one, and it will reduce the court level of court. You recall that if you recall, look at the amount of money Labour Party said they expended on courts. Imagine if it's electronic voting, they wouldn't even have reasons. Electronic transmission of results, rather, they wouldn't
Yes.
have reasons to go to court again, because they will have seen that it's a clear one. But what I will canvass for is that even that electronic transmission, I also want political parties to have their person in the back end, because back ends are under problem too. So if you have them in back end, perhaps you'll be comparing two things now: the electronic transmission result and the result sheet that each representative of each party will have, and that will solve the problem.
Exactly. Okay, now, but on the issue of having all the elections on the same day, but will INEC really be capable to handle such? Because it will be quite cumbersome to have all the elections in one day.
Well, in as much as having our election in one day look like a tough order, I think that's still the best, because it will save us from a lot of cost. If you look at all this, except from by-election, look at all this off-season election, it's costing us a whole lot. But I think they can do it, since they can actually handle national election that involve the president, the senate, and the governors. I think they can do it. The only thing is that, and the joy is that electronic transmission is now being considered. I think it's possible. I think it's the best for us, and it will reduce our cost of election.
Yes, thank you so much. That is that. But now we are back to leadership. leading story. Leadership says 5.108 trillion naira in 8 months. Hardship unabated in states despite huge allocations. Of course, Aliu, since these few past days we've been awash with trending stories or trending reports of allocations that states have drawn from the federation account since 8 months now, and especially also local government areas of this state, that is 774 local governments of the country. But nothing seemed to have been, no impact seemed to have been felt in these states where this huge amount, humongous amounts of money have been collected by their state executive. So what is actually happening? Because it's a story that has been trending over the week.
Right. If you ask me, I'll look at it from two way perspective and contextualizing it. Now, first and foremost, that you have much more allocation coming to you does not mean you have more improvement in this type of because the value of the money you are collecting, what is the value? Agnostic value. If you collect a humongous amount, it's just by figure. So for me, and that's where the federal government also gets it wrong. Now you want to increase your income. As you increase your income as federal government, you are also expending it. Now our debt has increased. The value of what we used to get for a particular amount of naira is not the same thing. So government have to also spend more. And the one I want to also look into is that our governors, the president needs to call those governors into the closer room and discuss with them very because they are actually the bane of our problem. As some of governors are getting those money, some of them are buying tractors. Some of them are buying big, equipment for farmers. Some of them are impacting on their MSN. How many of them are doing this laudable one? So some of them will just collect this money, find their way to bureau de change and change it again. And you see, within 5 days, they collect allocation. The value of dollar will increase so up. So federal government must come in terms with these governors and make sure that they monitor what they actually spending money into. Because until we invest in the appropriate infrastructure and human development, it is when we can realize a good achievement. So for me, I think the first problem, like I said, is the value of money. So for me, that you have put the allocation and the value of money has dropped, is still the same thing. So for me, it would have been better that we don't float our currency, right? And we don't float our currency and we still get the same value and use the value to invest. Because now if you have 100 billion now, the value is like in last 2 years. So this is that so it will make a lot of it. It's just by number, not by value.
All right. Now, thank you so much. We also have another report as well, giving these customs duty rates in our sister publication, National Economy, that vehicle clearance cost rises by 235% in 8 months, while importation drops by 50%. And it's also almost similar story we have on leadership too, that import volume drops as importers weigh options. Of course, considering the high rate of foreign forex now, many importers are not so keen anymore on importing goods. We are experiencing some technical glitches there, and of course, the audio is not so clear. I'm afraid this is where we have to cut the show today because of